Hello, it's Japan, and right now, Survivor Series ended about an hour or two ago. Got some way to collect my brain, and I would like to put like a what is it like a show tier list together of all the stuff that happened. There's a lot of stuff that happened, so I put just the five matches and like the one main event. There was a lot, or like one big surprise, I guess. There are more. There was a lot. So overall, I thought the show amazing. I thought it was everybody thought it was going to be such a small card because there was only five matches that we didn't know that it was going to be that big of a deal. I think they hit it out of the park to make the Survivor Series back into that top four pay per view. I mean, there's always that wrestle of like, what do you think, Money in the Bank or Survivor Series? And I think this might have edged out Money in the Bank just a little bit for this year. So right off the bat, we had the women's war game match, and it was phenomenal. All the spots in it were amazing. The issue was, it was just, I think the wrong person or the wrong team won. I really feel like Damage Control really needed that win. I think that would have really cemented them into being, hey, we are the top faction of women, and because the other one is not a faction. So, it was cool. We got, Charlotte Flair and Becky, burying the hatchet, which was fine. All of that was fine, and all could have been in that match with not having them or not having them win. But I guess we'll see. I mean, I feel like they're going to blame Bayley. I think that's what they're going to try to say. But, like, Bayley did a lot of spots to save him. So, I don't know. It just felt really discombobulated. And we finally got that faction together and winning and doing stuff. And then they're just like, nope, not going to happen. So, overall, match was amazing. I think the wrong person won. And I just felt like that puts it in B category. I feel like, it would definitely be a solid A if they would have went Damage Control over it. The spots were just really insane. Sky jumping on the trash can. Kind of just actually maybe put it back up to A because that was just kind of insane. And to just, to have that rare for all the hope that somebody was going to catch you. And they did. So, it was good. Next up is, it was supposed to be Carlito versus Santos Escobar, and that's why the icons messed up. But it ended up being Dragon Lee for Carlito. Hopefully, Carlito actually didn't have an injury, and it was part of the point. I think this match has just been cursed because it was supposed to be Ray versus Santos. I guarantee you, was supposed to be the match here, but we didn't get that. So it went to Carlito, and then now went to Dragon Lee, and I feel like Dragon Lee was a great add-on to it. I think he really did show up. I think the match in general just kind of felt not a lot of stake into it. I thought overall solid match. Didn't feel like it needed to be a premium live event match. I think they are going to build onto it, and I hope that really is what the case is going to be. But for the time being, just didn't feel like it was it's the odd man out on this match of being really solid matches. But again, I still wouldn't change it. I think it was a good thing. I don't really know anybody else other than maybe having a U.S. title reign or something like that match. I feel like we did pretty solid. So I think overall still B solid for a whole pay-per-views. I think by far was the worst match. Probably of story for sure made it the worst match. But I think overall it was still pretty solid. I'm actually gonna put it in C now that I'm thinking about it because I feel like the match was just a little lacking for what I wanted. The story wasn't there because we didn't get the build-up that we needed, that all these other matches kind of had. But next up, we have The Miz versus Gunther, the Intercontinental title, the one who's the greatest champion of all time. I think it really needed to be Gunther winning this, and I think that was the right decision. The match itself was really good. Did not like the tap out. I kind of wish we didn't have that as the ending. Just that being said, it's going to be in B. Solid match. Loved a lot of the spots, but that tap out really was not what I wanted it to be. At least not as fast as it was. I wanted it to really just be that struggle to have it. I mean, I kind of felt, because the whole big thing was okay, Miz has had the Intercontinental title for 900 or 592 days, and Gunther's almost at that on his one reign compared to Miz had that on all of his reigns combined. So I thought, it was fitting, and I think that's what they're going for. I think they're going for that final thing. I think Gunther holds it until WrestleMania, if not possibly Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber, I feel would be the best spot to drop it, so he could then get into him being the Royal Rumble winner or something. But I don't know. Again, I feel like there's just a lot to be said with that. I could see him holding it to WrestleMania. and either losing it there or even just holding on after that. He's been an amazing Intercontinental title holder. I feel like overall he's pretty solid, and I think for the future he's going to be a world heavyweight champion. So I think B works on this one. It was a great match, like what they've done with the Miz. Just the ending. That's with a lot of these. It's just the ending. Next up is Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. It was a great match overall with all of the spots that they had. I think Rhea looked pretty dominant. Zoe held her own, so she seems legit. I think her and Shayna should just go for those tag team titles next, but I don't think they're going to go with that direction. I think they're going to try to still hold her in that upper middle card, and I think she has that spot with Liv Morgan being gone, Alexa Bliss being gone. There's like that main event spot that like they want Jade Cargill to fill eventually, but because she's not here already, this is a spot to just go in there and jam her into that spot, and I think she's holding up to being in that category, and I think this match showed it. B, I feel like we could have definitely had a little bit more. I felt it could have been a little bit longer. I would have liked to see a little bit more dominance from Rhea. Like, she won, but it felt not as definitive that, like, you know, she got it, but there was a couple times where, like, it just felt like she was lacking a little bit, which I think her title reign in general has been like that. She's had been really dominant in spots, and then other spots it just seems like they don't know what they're doing with her because they're waiting for her to fight Becky Lynch. And yeah, we've seen that. So I'll put B. I think is pretty solid. I'll leave it there. Then you got the men's War Game match, which was phenomenal. We'll start off with just, you know, everybody getting into the ring when we were waiting for Randy to be the last one in. Then the Judgment Day or Rhea coming down and having that cash in, I thought actually really got me there. I was like, holy crap, that actually could have been the spot that they do. They try to talk about Randy and they try to talk about all that, and it could be Randy costs them the match. It costs Seth his champion. I was like, that actually could be really crazy of a story. But even with just coming down there and eventually when Voices plays and Randy Orton comes down, that sigh of relief everybody has, and I think it made a phenomenal entrance for him, which just was spot on. The RKO when they got JD thrown off the top was just amazingly set up and just awesome to see. Looked like Randy hadn't missed a beat. The little spot where he looked like he was going to take out Jay, chef's kiss to story right there. That was exactly what they needed. I do wish, and this is just one little gripe, nothing to do with story, nothing that they had to do, but it would have been cool if Randy would have been like, yeah, you get one night also, like how Seth and Cody were going. That would have been kind of interesting because I feel like Randy might eventually turn on this group, but it would have been interesting that he would have still wanted to take out Jay at some point, even if it's just a match to let out his aggression. I think would have still been something that we could have seen in a Raw that would have been, you know, different and new. So I guess we'll see what goes from there. Overall, match was definitely an S tier match. It was just too many good spots, too many good things that happened in there, and I felt the right team won. And yeah, and then it ended, and I ended my stream when I was watching with friends, and they went to bed because they were in Ireland time, and then I was just about to exit out myself, and then CM Punk's music cut, and he came out, which was everybody's biggest isn't he going to be there? Because we know if CM Punk was going to come back, this was the time. There was really no other time to really introduce him. Like, even at like Royal Rumble, it just wouldn't have had a bigger impact other than at CM Punk's hometown of Chicago. So what are you going to do? You're either going to use him now or never use him until whatever next Chicago event, basically, it felt like. And sure enough, he came down. Now, I'm assuming this is definitely not a one-off, like kind of how like The Rock felt like. So we're going to have CM Punk. We'll see him on one of the brands, and I'm excited. Like, there's a lot that can come from there. I don't know what you want to put him on SmackDown, you know, Raw, whatever. But I'm happy to see that, and I'm happy to see what it is. I think he deserves a second chance. We don't really know all the story about all of it, so we can't really be the judge of it. So, but it comes to that, if the WWE wanted to do that and it was good for business, then I guess that's what we were going to see, and hopefully there won't be any problems. And if there is, they just nip it right in the butt right when it happens. So then it's over with. I'd much rather have him come back and fail than them not knowing if he could ever come back and be good. So overall, CM Punk, I'm gonna put it in the S tier for now. Could definitely change. Overall, pay-per-view I thought was great. There was only 5 matches, but it felt like a very long and nice pay-per-view. Not too crazy, not too filled with gunk. We also had R-Truth come back. I did like that. They used that as kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing to show. Just a little bit of like, oh yeah, we got to return. But I definitely felt that this pay-per-view was one of the better ones and definitely cemented it being back in that top 4. Really did go hand in hand with Money in the Bank this year. So I'm happy, and hopefully this is the last one of the year. So I think I probably need to do a ranking of the premium live events, and maybe a ranking of some of the title defenses. I guess I'm gonna be pumping out some more tier list over the course of the week, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that now that we're at the end of the year and I've watched everything this year, all the premium live events this year being back at wrestling. So I think I want to talk about some of them. So we'll see you there, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.